The prisoner just glanced out the prison exit, but was pushed to the ground by a passing cellmate. Warned him not to try to escape. Other inmates also came to persuade the robbery, said it was all to protect him. Such absurd words. It was very puzzling to Thomas. However, the next second, and he turns around. A dull hiss suddenly came from the passage. Roar. The sound is so strong that it can even blow up fallen leaves on the ground. I didn't wait for Thomas to react. The exit gate closes. Completely isolate the passage between inside and outside. And danger isn't just monsters. There are also extremely strict regulations. Once someone goes out without permission or breaks the rules, the crowd will rush before the sun sets. Drive it to the other side of the gate with a long pole. Sacrifice to unknown creatures inside. Original. Outside their prison is a labyrinth. The entrance will open in the morning room. Evening, closing. The monster inside is also a day and night chef. Every other month, the elevator in the middle of the prison will bring some supplies and a newcomer. And everyone's memories were erased, without exception. I can only remember my own name, so no one knows why they are here. How to get out? Because every night, the labyrinth falls will change. It led them to explore their route for 3 years in a row. No exit found, until Thomas arrived. A shocking conspiracy that has been hidden for years only gradually surfaced. He was like most people when they first arrived. He was filled with fear and doubt. Lock in the dark room and calm down for a while. Black, as a leader, described the general situation of the maze. Warn him that the tribe has 2 red lines. The first is not to attack your partner. The second is that in addition to the person in charge of exploration, no one is allowed to enter the labyrinth. This made Thomas very curious about the maze, but after seeing the power of it, he also obediently dispelled the idea of going in until he dug in the woods. Met a strange walker. Obviously, the two don't know each other. The other party poses up. I can't wait to try him on the spot. I didn't wait for Thomas to react. The other party suddenly flew and pressed him under. Recording. Thomas is the mastermind behind the maze. It confused him, seeing that the other party is about to kill himself. Fortunately, Thomas picked up the skull on the ground in time. Down with men. I was lucky enough to get out of the woods. The companions hastily gathered. Knocked the opponent with a stick to save Thomas. At first, the man was still struggling, but after seeing the old black coming, but suddenly calmed down, because he knows what it means to attack a partner. Old Black ordered to lift his clothes. Original. The walker went crazy because he was covered by monsters. But what puzzled him was, how can you encounter monsters when you go out during the day? And those who were poisoned before, aside from gibberish and madness, never before has it been so crazy to target a single person. Seeing this, Thomas repeated what the other party said. Old High seemed to realize something after listening. After giving him a slightly profound look, get up and leave. Penalties for violators are completed. And the next day, he set out to investigate the cause of the walker's injuries. And Thomas was curious to go. However, due to regulations, he can only wait where he is. Who knew it was approaching evening? The two of them still did not move until the floodgates start to close. Ming Haokai carried the seriously injured Old Black on his back. Appear at the end of the passage. Due to the burden, it was very difficult for Ming Hao to move forward. But everyone except for letting him leave the Old Black. He didn't mean to help at all. Thomas wants to know what happened to Blackie. So my heart is broken. Seeing that I was almost squeezed into a butcher, Thomas was terrified. On the other hand, Ming Hao was speechless. I have seen it without fear of death. It's the first time I took the initiative to come in and die. Thomas asked Blackie what was going on, but Minga doesn't know either. So they split up. Wait for the meeting to make the Old Black stool poison. He had no choice but to stun the other party. Speaking of the howling of monsters, it's nearby. At the same time, it was accompanied by the sound of gears turning. The labyrinth has begun to change. Name,